Good afternoon to all TBA members, devotees, and friends in the Dhamma. Ti-Sarana Buddhist Association is very happy that Dr. Yuen Yen accepted our invitation to conduct a Sutta meditation series during this year's Rains Retreat or Vassāvāsa season, which is a period for deep self-reflection and spiritual cultivation. Dr. Ng is a Buddhist Dharma teacher who had previously lectured at the Mandala Vihara for 18 years. She has also been conducting talks and meditation at Buddhist societies. For this Sutta meditation series, there will be 8 sessions, live streamed on Zoom and Facebook every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. Each session will cover Sutta studies, meditation, guided meditation, and a Q&A session. Before we start the session, let us begin the Vassāvāsa cultivation by paying homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
静了我就跑出来。
Tatiyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Session here. Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to this Vassāvāsa retreat sessions, about 8. So today we are going to talk about Sutta meditation. Now, Sutta meditation is to be done such that we can practice the teachings of the Buddha. Because now it's the teachings that we have. So we want to practice Sutta meditation, and that we want to do it in the way that the Buddha taught us. Now the Buddha taught Mahakassapa. He asked Mahakassapa that if he could accept these 3 advices, then Mahakassapa will be ordained. Of these 3 advices that the Buddha gave to Mahakassapa, it is the second advice that we must take to heart. And what is this second advice that the Buddha gave to Mahakassapa? And the second advice, he says, you must listen to the Dhamma. After listening to the Dhamma, you must examine the Dhamma. After examining the Dhamma, you have to reflect on the Dhamma. After reflecting on the Dhamma, then you absorb the Dhamma through the meditation and the practice. So this is how we would want to do it. So now we have the teachings of the Buddha in the suttas. So they are available to us by reading. So now we want to do it in this way. You read. After you read by yourself, you want to examine what has been said in the sutta. After you examine already, then you reflect. After you reflect already, you want to say, how do I translate what I've learned into the practice so that you can absorb it and internalize it into your core. So now it is available for us, so we read. Now at this present time, like we are doing a session together, then now you listen, examine, reflect, and absorb. So the first reading or the first listening, you would listen first. After you listen, then you examine. Then you reflect and absorb. So this is how sutta meditation is to be done. Right? So if we want to use an acronym, which I love acronym, so we can always do it in this way. Real, R-E-A, real. So real, you want to flourish, you want to real your children, you want to flourish. So you read, you examine, you absorb, reflect what you have absorbed. This is just to make it like smoother. So you want to real yourself to become a Buddha's disciple. How do you reel yourself to become a Buddha's disciple? That you read, you examine, you reflect, you absorb. So this is what you have to do. There will be many teachings outside, many teachers outside, but you can read the suttas that the Buddha had given us as our inheritance. And then we do it quietly. We read quietly, we examine, we reflect, and then try to internalize it. So I have chosen these 3 suttas. Okay, and I like to start now. So the first part of it, this is what I like you to know, how we should be conducted, how you should learn to do it by yourself. Yeah. So I start off with Vela Sutta. Vela Sutta is Anguttara Nikaya, Book of 920. So when you read the book, when you read the sutta, there are always 9 points because it is Book of 9. So they will enumerate for you 9 points. Okay. So in any sutta, you will tell you of the place where it's spoken and the people involved. And then the core teaching. Because the Buddha taught something. Okay. So the place, it is in Jetavana. So many colors, Jetavana. And the people is the Buddha and Ananta Pindika. And the core teaching we now want to talk about. Now, that's the 9 points. He says 9 points. You must remember the 9 points. You must want to see what is it that gels. Okay, this part is not all. So you all have read the sutta. I believe that you would sort of read the sutta, but if you haven't, then you have to read the sutta like you read a story, right? And you enjoy the story. So where the place was, it was in Jetavana. and that the people involved was Anantapindika himself and the Buddha. Anantapindika went to visit the Buddha, and the Buddha then asked him, "Does your family give alms?" And Anantapindika said, "Yes, but we only give alms, rice gruel." So after that, the Buddha says, wherever you give, whether it's cost or it is fine, if you do not do it respectfully, you do it with disrespect, inconsideration, and that you do, when you want to give, or you give something that to be discarded, and you do not do it with both hands, and you do it, do not think of the future consequences, then he says, you will have this outcome. And what is this outcome, he says? He says, if you do this offering disrespectfully to whoever, then you would not enjoy superb food or clothes or vehicles or the superb objects of the senses. And the spouse and children and the workers and the servants will not listen to you respectfully. So, you want to know why? He is telling you karma. If you do something irrespectfully, not respectfully, the karma is that you will not get things respectfully. So you won't get superb things, and you won't have people listening to you because they won't respect you to listen to you. So this is a very important lesson of karma. And this is what he says. But if you offer respectfully, and you offer it in both hands, and you offer it considerately, and you offer to think of the future consequences of an act, then you would also be able to enjoy the superb food, clothing, vehicles, and the respect from the wife, the children, the workers, the servants. This is the effect of karma. So here the Buddha taught about karma. Then he went on to say, previously there was a Brahmin called Vela, right? And this Vela, he was very rich. And he wanted to conduct a great offering. And what a great offering it is? So you have this great offering of, down here you read the Anguttara, he will list out to you 9 items. So the first is the 84,000 golden bowls filled with silver. The second is 84,000 silver bowls filled with gold. Then 84,000 bronze bowls filled with woolen. Then you have 84,000 elephants adorned with golden ornaments. And then you have 84,000 chariots adorned with the skins of animals. And you have the 84,000 milk cows. Okay? And they will have all these buckets with them. And then you have 84,000 maidens with earrings, adorned with earrings. Then you have 84,000 couches. And these couches have a canopy. And on the couches there are rugs with silk, fine wool. So it's exquisite. And on either side there's red bolsters. So you can imagine it, when you read, wow, you can imagine the couches, and there are 84,000 of them. And after number 9, the 9th one now is 84,000 putties of cloths, silk, linen, fine wool. And then, of course, in addition, he says lots of food and drink to take. So yeah, all this great offering. So you have this 84,000. So you also know that Asoka built 84,000 stupas because there were 84,000 points of Dhamma. So you can see where this 84,000 comes from, okay? So you have 84,000. So you can see here, he has such great wealth. And he want to make an offering. But then he says, there was no one worthy of that offering. Because there's no one purified. So you can now see all this material wealth. But then the Buddha says that more merits will be given. He would have received merits if he gives this to one stream emperor. So just now what is said is just there's a lot of things material. So that all these things offered, you will get merits if you offer to one stream emperor. So we want to say merits for what, right? Merits. We say merits for liberation, merits for physical well-being or whatever. But this merits, you will see why this merits is for liberation. Because this sutta meditation we conduct is to reduce suffering and be liberated. Okay. So now stream says this merits will be more if you give it to one stream emperor, and with increasing merits for the following. If you give it to 100 stream emperors, it's more. Then if you give to one returner, more. So that means one returner is more than 100 stream emperors, and then so on and so forth. 100 once returners, then we have one non-returner, then we have 100 non-returners, 701 arahant, and 100 arahants, and then one Pachika Buddha, and 100 Pachika Buddhas, the Buddha Tathagata, and the Sangha, and then the dwelling for the Sangha of the four quarters. Says more meritorious than giving to all this is to take refuge in the triple gems. More meritorious than all this are to take the 5 precepts, or to practice all loving kindness for the kind that is just pull the other of a cow. Just the time needed to pull the other of a cow. Like you milk a cow, you have to pull the other, right? If you just pull once, that merits exceed all the others. Then the last, it says perception of impermanence for the duration of a finger snap. One finger snap, but it's a perception of impermanence. He says the merits of this surpasses all that. Because if you have perception of impermanence, then you are a stream enterer. And for that stream enterer, we'll then see what it means. So you can see that here you want to accumulate merits for liberation, then this is what you need to do. More so, you need to do. You take the refuge in the triple gem. You take refuge in the triple gem because your mind has confidence in the Buddha. In the Buddha for his perfect enlightenment, because he's an arahant. You take confidence that he is perfect. He is flawless. He is perfect in his knowledge. That he is truly enlightened. This is what you take refuge in. That he is fully enlightened. And this fully enlightened way, he could teach it to the Arya Sangha. He says take refuge in the Arya Sangha, the 8 kinds of people. So 4 on the path and 4 with the fruits. So he has shown the path through the teachings, and through the teachings, the other received and became enlightened in various degrees. Because this triple gem says that Buddha was enlightened, you believe in full confidence without a tinge of doubt that the Buddha was fully enlightened, that the Sangha also enlightened in various stages and can be fully enlightened. So you also must have full confidence in yourself. It means that through the teachings, you also have full confidence that through the teachings of the Buddha and the Arya Sangha, you can also be enlightened. To be enlightened is to end suffering, to end physical and mental suffering. Because the Dharma is said to be what? The Dharma, it says, can be seen. Sanditiko, akaliko, means it is timeless. It is true 2,600 years ago. It will be true now and in the future. It can be entered upon, upanayika. It can be applied. It can be practiced. For the wise himself. The wise has to walk this path himself. So you take refuge in the triple gems because of this truth. This truth, the 4 noble truths. That he is enlightened to the noble truths of suffering. And it has ceased. Suffering has ceased for him in various stages for the Arya Sangha. So during this full confidence in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, then you have the 5 precepts. The 5 precepts is do not kill. So in the first part of the Sutta, Valama, talk about karma. If you do not kill, you won't get killed. But we do not know how long our samsara. So if you get killed, okay. Right now. And you do not kill so that others will feel safe with you. Right. And that you give life or blood or whatever. So you are supporting life. So in that way, life will be easier for you too. It's the same thing. It is a karmic. Whatever you do, if you do not kill and you do not steal, people will be safe with you. People will trust you. If you do not have sexual misconduct, your partner will not feel betrayed. For those who are single, then we will say that do not have sensual misconduct. No, this third is sexual misconduct. Then do not have sensual misconduct. towards the five sense objects. Then we have the do not lie, do not have false speech, do not speak harshly, do not have divisive speech, do not have malicious speech. When we do not do that, then the truth is easier to come to you. You can see the truth easier. The truth that comes to you can be more pleasant and not harsh. In a setting where it's more appreciative. So it is for your own good and others as well, that you speak truthfully, gently, cohesively, not to sow any discord. Therefore, the last part, the intoxicants. If you take in intoxicants, then you become heedless, confused. If you offer other this, you will also be offering confusion. So we do not support things that are addictive and cause confusion, so that you yourself will not be addicted and not be confused. So then you will have the merits of the five precepts. Loving kindness. You have loving kindness for just a moment only, because loving kindness is really embracing, right? It's measureless. So you see, loving kindness is found in many religions. Precepts are found in many religions, commandments. Okay, belief in their gods are also, the faith are very strong. But here, the Buddha taught impermanence. And this is the distinct feature of Buddhism, or the practitioners. Those who practice loving kindness will get to heavens. But those who practice impermanence or can see impermanence, then this impermanence say there's nothing solid. There is no soul. That's the difference, because those who are very compassionate or believe in God still believe in the soul. But in Buddhism or the Buddhist Dharma, say there is no soul, there is no self. There's nothing substantial in physical or mental phenomena of all conditioned things. In that way, then you are free from the factors of craving. So in your free, then we can reach enlightenment. So this is the Vallama Sutta. So if we read it once, we examine, I share with you my reflections, and then we can absorb it when we practice the Dharma later. Okay, the Sutta later. So this is Vallama Sutta. Okay, you sort of reflect about it. So what in your mind now, after you have listened, you examine, now you reflect the thought. What is it that you understand from this thought? So each reflection is individual. So you think about it first. Okay? Right. So now we're going to build the momentum. So the momentum is the second sutta. Okay, the second sutta is the grounded or the stream enterer. So it is I think this is the next one is grounded. It's 55 point what It is this is 55.2. Okay. So this is the grounded. Is to say that you have to be grounded. So this is Brahma Charya Yoga Sutta, means entering the stream. So the place, they didn't say about the place, it's the Buddha and the Bhikkhus. So the core teaching is that he tells the Bhikkhus, that there are 4 requirements to entering the stream. And what are these 4 requirements? The requirements that you have full confidence in the Buddha, in the Dharma, and in the Sangha. And that you keep your precepts unbroken. He says if you do this, these 4 requirements, then you will not go into the lower realms. You will not go to the Mettā world. So if you have full confidence in the Buddha, then you experience the confidence also. So it's like, having the oil put in water, it will float. That's the confidence in the Buddha. Just now I said before, it is confidence in his enlightenment, that he has gained the goal. So you too can gain that goal. And that you also have full confidence in the Dharma. And through the Dharma, you can gain the goal. You have full confidence of the Arya Sangha, the 8 kinds of people, right? The path and fruit. So you have full confidence that it can be done through the Dharma. So the Buddha says, let the Dharma be your refuge. And you yourself, in the end, be your own refuge. Because you have to walk that way to the end by yourself. And we have said already the precepts, that you want to keep your precepts unbroken. And you must know the reason, not because of anything, but that it is the right thing to do. That you have right speech, action, and livelihood. That you will practice well. So this is the reason, he says, we have just to have this full confidence in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and have the 5 precepts unbroken. He says that is a requirement to be grounded in the stream. And this stream will flow towards the ocean of Nibbana. Okay, so now you reflect, what it means. What must I do? Okay, so you must see whether you have full confidence in the Buddha, Dharma, or Sangha, and which part of it you do not have full confidence. And that in the precepts, are you able to keep your precepts in an unbroken way? When you have problems, then you look at the problems and see how you can keep it pure. Okay. Then we come to the 30 monks. These 30 monks is 15, right? 15.13, right? So the place is bamboo grove. At Rajagaha. The 30 monks and leader. So this Samyutta Nikaya is about beginningless samsara. He says that we have been in samsara from beginningless time. Meaning, we cannot see the first point when you began. And you have been roaming and searching many, long time. Says for a very, very long time, we have been imprisoned in samsara, hindered, blocked by ignorance, fettered by, chained by craving. Because you are hindered by ignorance and chained by craving, that's why we cannot get out of this samsara. So he says that you have to think about getting out of samsara. And he said these 30 monks, they are from the west, from Pava. And these 30 monks, they are forest dwellers. They are alms food eaters. So they stay in the forest. You can imagine they stay in the forest and they carry alms to the village to have their alms. And they wear rag cloths, rag robes. And they are triple robe user. They have only 3 robes and that's all. So they have very little one thing right. Yet the Buddha said they still have fetter. The Buddha can see that these 30 monks still have fetters, still chained. So he says, let me give them a talk, whereby they're listening to a talk. These 30 monks will be free from non-clinging. So then he says, monks, you know, how much do you think what is more? The blood that you have lost by being beheaded through the time that you were in samsara is more, or the 4 waters in the 4 oceans? What is more? The blood you have lost or the water in the 4 oceans? Your answer? Blood. So he said blood. So he says, the 30 monks also say, according to the Dharma, the blood lost is more than the water in the 4 oceans. Being cows, and many times your head have been beheaded, and the blood that you have shed have been a lot. Not only cows, goats, sheep, pigs, deer. Not only as animals, as human, you also have been beheaded for being burglars, for being highwaymen. You know highwaymen? And then he says, by being adulterers, you also have been beheaded. So through the samsara, through all your roamings, you have lost a lot of blood. The amount of blood fills more than the 4 oceans. Then by just listening to that, the 30 monks are released from their fetters. That the only thing that they were clinging to is to the existence in samsara. So then, after letting go, they realized So then, why do I say this? Why do I choose this? We must be fearful enough of samsara. If you're not fearful of samsara, you will delight in samsara. You want to come back again. So throughout the samsara, we had COVIDs again and again. We have plagues. We have pandemics many, many times over. So in the time of the Buddha, there was also a pandemic. So we have heard about Ratana Sutta, right, in the Vassāvāsa, that there was a pandemic also. So 2,600 years ago, there was pandemics, and there will be pandemics in the future. There will be loss of lives. If that is not enough to frighten you, right, that this is, we all have lost lives again and again, where people suffer again and again. They die again and again. So samsara is something that is to be feared, that you will practice very hard to run away from, that you do not want to delight in samsara. If you delight in samsara, then you will be in samsara. When you delight in samsara, you will be suffering, because they are both S. One S, another S, got two S's, suffering and samsara. So whether you want to be S's or not, so up to individual. Pachatam vedi tabu vinuhiti. The wise knows by himself. And this journey has to be done by yourself. And we want to get out through the teachings of the Buddha. But you must understand, you must have confidence. And now during this period, you have to know that there is a lot of physical and mental suffering. This is an example where it is so stuck in your face. Okay, if you say it's suffering, you don't know what's suffering. This is suffering, mental and physical suffering. So you have to examine the teachings. After this, you have to go back and read the teachings again, examine them, reflect, and then you want to absorb the wholesome part of the teaching that is useful for you. Okay, so that's the sutta sharing. Now we open to questions. Okay. Are there any questions? I give you some time to ask questions before we go into the meditation. If there are questions coming, otherwise the questions can come from the floor here. I can see the questions from here, then you don't have to read out. Any questions?
I cannot believe how come the blood that is shaped by us is like much more than the water from the four oceans. It's so much.
You've been here so long, ma. You've been in samsara for so long.
I'm very surprised. So much.
It's just that it is so long. The aeons, so samsara is like beginningless, you know. So aeons, you can count aeons, right? So aeons also, like for example, they say that the first jhana, if you get into the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, if you die, you will go to 1 aeon, 2 aeon, 4 aeons, 500 aeons. If you on first jhana, you're inclined, first jhana, okay, then you'll be 1 aeon. So I'm just trying to say that the time that you can be so long. So in hell can be also very long. So for example, Moggallana killed his parents and he was in hell for aeons. So aeons is a long, long time. And even, karma, at the end of his life, he was also assassinated, chopped up. So he fortunately, his mind was freed. His mind was freed, but he still have to face that bodily, disintegration because what he had done. So this is karma. So imagine you have been in hell for a long, 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 long time. It's like so long. So for the being that comes and goes and changes, the beginningless, that means you cannot see the first. When this being had been, Buddha will say his past lives, he was such a name, he was in such a clan, he ate such food, and then after that, he goes to another life, then another life, another life. And then in that, he says hundreds and thousands of lives he saw himself. And then he also saw others. It's not special to himself, but others also have hundreds of thousands of lives. And then it's from beginningless. He cannot see the first life he had. He cannot see. So it's so long. So you have been wandering in this samsara as animals. Animals, we are food for humans, right? So previously, the usual way is chop chicken head, poke, So this is, they chop they have knives that are very sharp, So they have welded, they have this smith where they really have very sharp knife. So they will just chop, they can just chop the head. It's so for men who's beheaded, so they all have this chopper that just clamp down and the head just fall off. So this is for a long, long time. It's just to say you've been here too long. And that you've seen the ocean before, right?
Yeah.
So the ocean now is so much water. It's just unimaginable. He says that you have been here far too long. What are you still doing here? That's what he means. Why are you still fettered to samsara? It's so full of suffering. That's why you're still here. Why you like to suffer? But then we crave for and delight in this and that. So we are fettered. We are chained. Fettered means chained to samsara. It's very, very long. It's just unimaginably long. So you see people stuck, stuck. And how people get stuck? Because they are stuck in the sense pleasures. Going to KTV is very nice. Having the touch is very nice. Having the sense pleasures are very nice. It doesn't matter. Just go enjoy yourself. So this sense pleasures, this delight in sense pleasures. Not only in sense pleasures, also views. I have views on this and I have views on that. So you're stuck in views. So once you have views, you're stuck. The mind is stuck. Okay, so then you have the taste is the taint of becoming. You want something. So we are a slave. Want to do this, want to do that. There is no contentment. It's always up searching, looking, grasping. So you say the taints of sense pleasures, the taints of views, the taints of becoming, and then the taint of ignorance. Because underlying all this is the ignorance. All these are cravings, but the main thing of craving is ignorance. So they say the father of craving, the mother of ignorance. Because the mother of ignorance would drive this 12 dependent origination to the mass of suffering. Because you have ignorance. So the only thing you want to detect is your volition. Every intention you have, can you let go? So because this is the letting go. So this is samsara. To enter into this samsara is a long, long, long time. So it's just unimaginably long.
Yeah, Dr. Ng, we have 3 more questions.
Okay, you asked so
yeah.
small, I can't see.
Yeah, the first one related is that did King Asoka get the idea of building 84,000 pillars, inscriptions from Vimala, Vilama Sutta, and why is blood greater than the amount of water in the 4 great oceans?
So the second part is already answered already, so it's quite similar. The first part is just my cheeky way of talking about 84,000. 84,000, because in the sutta they mentioned 84,000. So this 84,000 it's not pillars, okay? That's 84,000 shrines, whatever. And it was the monk Moggaliputta Tissa who actually spoke to him, okay, about the Dharma, the true Dharma. So when the Asoka became convert to Buddhism after the Kalinga War, he saw that there was so much suffering in bloodshed. And one day he saw the Samanera Nigroda in the alms round. He saw his mindfulness and he was very taken by his mindfulness. And when he invited Nigroda, Samanera Nigroda, to his palace, then and asked Nigroda to be seated, Nigroda went for the throne. And then he said, Apamada Amata Pada, means heedfulness is the path to deathlessness. And that's why he is so heedful. He's very heedful of the mind, the body. And this heedfulness or mindfulness is the path to deathlessness. Just as the 7 factors of enlightenment is headed by mindfulness, so heedfulness is the path of deathlessness. So here we have a new convert, Asoka, who was very powerful. He then embraced Buddhism. By then, Buddhism had 18 schools. So when he built Asokarama, there were already 18 schools of Buddhist monks in addition to other monks who were bogus monks who all joined in to then benefit from the offerings. But subsequently, after 7 years of this, the Asoka found out that there was no Upasata days being conducted because Moggaliputta Tissa, the Theravadan monk, left because he cannot do his Patimokkha, that means his the chanting of the Vinaya rules together with the other monks because they are of different schools and of different Vinaya. So they cannot conduct the Vinaya together. Since they cannot conduct together, Moggaliputta Tissa then left Asokarama up to the Ganges River to Ahoganga. Then when Asoka found out that there were no Upasata and no Patimokkha, he was very upset because this is a legal formal procedure to legalize the Sangha. So then he asked his officer to go to Asokarama and tell them, please have the Patimokkha. But his officers told them that of course there were objections. And when they object, the officers show force and beheaded the monks. Now Asoka, when he heard that the monks were beheaded, he was so remorseful because he kept the first precept, do not kill. And he thinks he is responsible for killing the monks. He was indeed very sad eventually, the person they say that can appease him is to appease him is Moggaliputta-tissa, the monk that were left to the Ahokangha up at Ahokangha. So they invited him 3 times. Only on the 3rd occasion, they said to save the Sasana that Moggaliputta-tissa came down. And when Moggaliputta-tissa came down and tell him that although he was the CEO of the country, he's not responsible for the act because he had no intentions at all of beheading the monks. So when he knows that he was not responsible, then he listened very carefully to the Dharma given by the monk. And for 7 days, 7 nights, apparently, King Asoka understood. After which, he then questioned all the people, all the monks that are staying in Asokarama. Those who say that they believe in eternalism, he asked them to leave, and he just wear white. And those who believe in nihilism also, he asked them to leave. Those who say Vibhaja Dharma, that means it is a Dharma, it's a teaching of discernment, of wisdom, of discerning, then he asked them to stay. And this is where the Dharma, given by Moggaliputta-tissa, these teachings, so that he convened the 3rd council, Kattavatu, who then refute the 500 points of unorthodox teachings. So then he had 500 points of orthodox teachings. But there were so many thousands of teachings, 84,000 teachings apparently, because there are so many people with so many inclinations that you require 84,000 points of Dharma to teach. But they all come back to the 4 Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, the 3 characteristics of existence, and the 12 DO. So it is so-called 84,000 points of Dharma. You then say he then built 84,000 shrines. And of course, these 84,000 shrines involve rock pillars, rock adits, pillar adits, stone adits. So there's just 84,000. So there are many all over the country which he ruled, and that on these edicts were the teachings of the Buddha sometimes, and of this the sayings that he wants the people to know. So this 84,000 is just said that it is a lot, innumerable, countless, just like the the waters of the ocean. So the taste, they say, of the Dharma is only one, the taste of freedom. So don't get too caught up with these 84,000 points. Just 1 point enough already. Okay, what's the second question?
Dr. Ng, maybe we take 2 more questions before we go back to meditation, right? One question from Brother Edmund on Facebook is that how to identify Aryan Sangha, please?
Aryan Sangha.
Yes.
How to identify Aryan Sangha? So the salutation to the Sangha is this. The salutation of the Sangha is that it is the Sangha behave in a good way, sujo. And they behave in a straight way, ujo. And they behave in the truthful way, naya. And they behave in the disciplined way, a dutiful way, in the proper way, right? And that is samiji. So these are the characteristics of the Sangha, the Arya Sangha, who practice the good way, the upright way, the truthful way, and the disciplined way, the proper way. So these are the Arya Sangha. It is better not to try to identify who is the Arya Sangha outside. It's better to check yourself whether you are good, whether you are upright, whether you are truthful, whether you are dutiful. Do not look outside. Outside is a mess. Just look inside. It's easier. You don't depend on another, depend on yourself. So the Buddha says, be the refuge to yourself. So you look, you listen to the Dharma, and then you practice. Don't look outside too much. So, and then don't criticize others, too much. Just be discerning, just like in Asoka Vibhaja. You must see whether this is the way of the Sangha should be behaving or not. Okay, so it is only you have to see for yourself the actions of the person, whether they say whatever they say, is it aligned to the teachings of the Dharma or not? Right? So we don't want to. So this falls into views. Is this person an Arya Sangha? Is this person not an Arya Sangha? So then you will have things. Okay, what's the third question?
The third question is from Brother Alan. Say that, Dr. Ng, please give an example of contemplation. Looking at our gray hair, is it contemplation? Like thinking it was black before?
Can.
It leads on to the next session, which is very good, right?
Yes, contemplation.
Yes.
So that is, this is contemplation of aging. I also have gray hair, look. Why? Previously it was black, dark black. Whatever. Okay. So this is contemplation. Contemplate means template, no? Template, so you say contemplate, template. That means you put a template and you see. So you see your white hair, then you just look at it. So it's like you're looking detachedly. So that's why it's called contemplate. You're not involved in it. You are not in it. So it's very important to contemplate in a detached manner. So when you contemplate, you are not attached and you are not repelled. That means you don't have these movements towards it and you are not repelled. So you don't you stay middle. When you contemplate, that's how you should be at that stance. That stance where you are looking detachedly, independently, objectively, not attracted and not repelled. Just looking only. White hair, lor. Disease, old age, sickness. Okay, death. So this objectively, all who are born have to die. Objectively, this is all who have birth will go through old age, sickness, or death. So they go through this. So when you have birth, you have death. When you have birth, you have suffering. So you will go through the mess of suffering. So this is what you need to contemplate and how you contemplate. I like the board because having the board, you look out. You don't look at your handphone so much. You look out. So that's why I like board and I like to use PowerPoint. I have to prepare and I have to squeeze my eyes.
We will have a Q&A session also at the end.
I think we finished with the Q&A. Most questions. What's this?
I think there are no more questions.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. The meditation will take maybe half an hour. Okay.
Okay.
How can I
Yeah.
use it? Oh.
Yeah. So the meditation will take about half an hour.
We just play by the ear because today is the first session.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Because after the meditation, maybe there may be some questions and we can take more questions afterwards.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So shall we? So you just get ready. Oh, it's in here. Okay. You want to stretch yourself first because you have been sitting for about an hour. You just stand up or whatever. Just stretch yourself first. Take a break first. Then you come back. In 5 minutes time. Okay. Okay, now we shall start the meditation session. Okay, the meditation session, this is good. Yeah, can keep it this way. Right. The meditation today we are going to do is to take the 3 refuges, the 5 precepts. So the way we do it is that I would like you all to go into the refuges so that you can experience each of them fully and not say in a quick way, to actually fully appreciate when you take the refuge. So I think you can all go and take a seat and then forget about the, okay, no need. I think once it's like that, it's okay. Okay. So I'd like you all to also meditate so that you all benefit from this. So you take refuge in the Buddha. You can say in Pali or you can say in English. For those who do not understand Pali well, then I think it is easier to do it in English. So we shall say, for the first time, I take refuge in the Buddha.
When you say you take refuge in the Buddha, you savor the complete sentence. Similarly, when you say, I take refuge in the Dharma, after you say you take refuge in the Dharma, and when you say you take refuge, you do it mindfully, knowingly what you say. So we start again. Important is to appreciate what you are saying, and then at the end of it, experience what had been said. So then you can savor the refuge. For the first time, I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. For the second time, I take refuge in the Buddha. Second time, I take refuge in the Dharma. Second time, I take refuge in the Sangha. For the third time, I take refuge in the Buddha. For the third time, I take refuge in the Dharma. For the third time, I take refuge in the Sangha. Taking the refuge is in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. You can experience the peace and the calm in taking the three refuges. Similarly, experience whatever you experience. Just feel whatever that you say, the meaning, by giving it a pause, a space to experience it. It should not be done in a hurry. No hurry at all. Just experience taking the refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Peace and the calm, whatever positive feelings, emotions that you have. The quiet tranquility and calm that gives you. Now we can go on to take the precepts. Abstain from killing. Pause after the words and see, experience you have. Abstain from stealing. Abstain from sexual misconduct. Abstain from false speech. Abstain from harsh speech. Abstain from divisive speech. Abstain from malicious speech. Abstain from intoxicants. Now with your full loving kindness, may I be well and happy. May all beings, large, medium, small, long or short, visible, invisible, born and yet to be born, be well and happy. May all beings in the right and the left, all around, be well and happy. May all beings below and above be well and happy. Now we shall do a session on impermanence. So the foundation of the body, let's go in the breathing in and out. Breathing in and breathing out. Just watch your breath. Each breath is a new breath. The old breath has gone and passed. Nothing substantial in the breath. Voices and cease. Voices and cease. And what are the feelings of the body? We change to are they pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral? Then look at the mind. What's the experience like? Is it quite different from just now? Objects like clinging, to come and go to, clinging out of the past. If you stay in the present, past has gone. Stay in the present, don't let the past interfere with your present. Present comes and goes, future comes and goes. The past has come and gone. Nothing substantial. So when it's impermanent, there is no self. There's nothing substantial. You meditate by yourself for 5 minutes. Breathe in, breathe out. they are sleepy, see the sleepiness as the mind object. Okay, now you finish the meditation session. You slowly feel the palm on your seat, feel your entire body. And you slowly open your eyes. So you take your time. If there's any question, we can ask. The next 10 minutes before we do the puja at 3:50. Any questions? Any questions from the ones that are sitting here?
Hi, brothers and sisters. If you're on Zoom, please type in your question in the chat or raise your hand and unmute to ask directly. On Facebook, just now, type in your question in the comment section and we'll ask the question for you. Dr. Maybe if I may just go back a little bit, right? Just now, I may not have read Brother Edmund's question in full. His question, just to clarify, about how to identify the Aryan Sangha is because he say he has no problem, understanding Buddha and Dharma, but how to identify the Aryan Sangha? That is his full question. Just in case I interpret it wrongly. Sorry.
All right. So I think, I think I don't have much to add on to what I've said already. So I think we don't want to spend too much time on identifying people because we want to lose identity, right? So I think we shall not judge whether another person is an Aryan Sangha. So I think it is best to just assess ourselves more than we assess others, but we have to be sure that they are good, that they are upright, they are not upright, that they are walking the true way, and that they are conducting themselves properly. If there are no questions, I shall ask the session. So when you take the 3 refuges, so I ask the people who are here, when you take the 3 refuges, is it quite different from the way you take before? Do you experience the 3 refuges differently? I think you're anonymous, so don't worry. They don't know who you are. So I want to know, is there a difference when you take refuge in this way?
Never tried taking before.
Right.
So I feel that it's quite different, and the focus and thinking can actually come to mind quite quickly.
Yes. So you can use this way to actually calm your mind. And you also notice that when you do it, when you embrace each word and embrace the meaning of each word, then you actually calm yourself quite substantially. So
I usually chant it first before I sleep. How they teach me to meditate on the words, I think
So in this way, you absorb. This is what you mean by you absorb. So because the effect, you find the effect of having this is actually more powerful than just chanting. So the effect on you, the being, is stronger. So in this way, I think it's good because there may be time you lose your voice. You cannot chant. But you can always chant in your heart before you sleep, before the start of the day. And you can always calm yourself with taking the refuge. Because if you are very stressful, anxious, fearful, just by diverting your mind to the 3 refuges, it's already a refuge for yourself. Because you can then calm and focus yourself. But the important thing is that you must practice it often so that you can use it. Because then you can go into your calm quickly. So this is why the training is important. So when you take this, then you understand what it means. But only when you know what the Buddha represents, what the Dharma represents, what the Arya Sangha represents, then you have full confidence in taking the refuge. So in this way, you have full confidence in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And when you have full confidence, you can feel yourself in that very steady, calm, peaceful state, mental state. So if you are very peaceful and calm, that is the fruit. Then you taste the fruit of taking the refuge. So this is the fruit of taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So when you absorb it, that's the meaning. Yes.
I think earlier on when you started, you mentioned that you can choose to either do it our language
Yes.
or use Pali,
Right, right.
Are they any different if someone do it in Pali? Is that like a stronger recognition
All right.
reception?
So I think the Pali word, so if you feel that Pali is, so it depends on the person. So if the person chants every day, so the power of that chanting every day in the Pali means a lot to him. So it then has more importance. I mean, it has a bigger impact on this person. So then there are others who chant in Mandarin. And then there are seniors who understand Mandarin. So you say, 我归佛, 我归法, 我归身. 第二次, 我归佛, 我归法, 我归身. 第三次, 我归佛, 我归法, 我归身. This is something you can do for your loved ones. Not all understand Pali. It is the essence of the meaning. The essence of, so you see, many will chant in Chinese, and then it resonates. Most important is it resonates with them. So when you resonate with them, then it has the effect. You want an effect, a positive effect. So it's dependent on conditions. So there's no right way or best way. It depends on conditions. So yeah, this is the
How about the citizen or the two repeated repetition? The first time, second time, the third time after you have go through the meditation and still cannot come your mind, you go back to the first one again.
Oh, you just carry on.
Just carry on.
So you see how so you carry on. So it's just a concentration exercise. As you do it, you notice your mind gets more and more concentrated. Okay, so we take the 3 refuges first. Then after that, we take the 5 precepts. When we take the 5 precepts, we must remember word by word what it means. So there's a focus there. So when you say, I abstain from killing, so you're telling yourself, I abstain from killing, because this is personal. And if each one of you, each of the precepts you shake, then you know that there is something missing. You need to put in more jiayu. What you need to do, you know, because this is all very personal to yourself. So when you say you abstain from killing, then you tell, this is how you absorb. I abstain from killing. Then through words you don't want to kill, through action you don't want to kill, through the mind you don't want to kill. So you body, speech, and mind. So similarly, for stealing. So when you do the 5 precepts, how did it feel when you do it? Is it stronger? The concentration becomes stronger. It gets very strong. It gets stronger. So you now embody. So you would understand that if you do any step, you are telling yourself you want to abstain. You will restrain when the action, asks you to kill or steal or sexual misconduct or false speech or malicious, divisive or harsh speech. You want to stop because you are saying to yourself, I abstain, and not taking intoxicants to a point of heedlessness. You want to abstain. So you are telling yourself, this is all very personal when you meditate. So then the concentration improves. So you said you don't need to go back to your 3 refuges. You just carry on. Just carry on. So I'm just doing this according to the Vassāvāsa Sutta. The three refuges. Then why I choose this way is according to the Vassāvāsa Sutta. So it's 3 refuges, the 5 precepts, then the loving kindness. And loving kindness you all do anyway you all like. Okay, yeah. So it's just, as you do, you get your mind become more and more focused. Then after that, then you do the impermanence, because impermanence is the key to the teachings. So you just, because your mind is so concentrated, you can see clearly. So you can see your breath, you see your feelings, you see your mind, you see your mind objects. So then because your mind is concentrated, then you can see impermanence clearly. Then impermanence, you can penetrate it to non-self, non-soul, because it's impermanent. There's nothing substantial. So when there's nothing substantial in it, then you're free. So in that sense, then you appreciate his teachings. Because Vassāvāsa Sutta, you appreciate this, the way he lead you, So it's meritorious, impermanent. So this is Vassāvāsa Sutta, you just sort of practice in a sense, you reflect. So when you read already, again, you say, oh, so this is how it's done. So I can practice like that, you know. Then the 30 monks, it says they are grounded in the triple gem and the 5 precepts. The grounded, then the 30 monks is that if not, if you don't develop the Noble Eightfold Path, then you cannot get out of samsara. So the 30 monks is telling us that we have been in samsara too long. It's back to the same square one again and again. Birth, old age, sickness, death. So we always go back to this whole mess of bad and sad, right? Birth, aging, disease, death. Then we go to sadness, agitation, despair, depression, or depression, despair. So what for you want to go bad and sad all the time? The pleasure, the delight is only momentarily. There are more bad and sad than happiness, right? Only the Dharma leads you off this bad and sad. So what are the questions?
Dr. Ng, there's no more question.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
None at all.
I think so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None at all. I'm surprised. Did they do the meditation?
No, I think it's because they are holding it.
Oh, okay, 4 o'clock, right. We shall do the puja.
Just a moment now. Yeah, before we end the session, we shall share the merits of our cultivation program.
Okay.
Sattā Metta Punyantam Anumoditva Chiram Rakkantu Lokasasanam Akasatam Charumata Devanagamaditika Punyantam Anumoditva Chiram Rakkantu Desanam Akasatam Charumata Devanagamaditika Punyantam Anumoditva Chiram Rakkantu Mam Paranti. Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
We also share merits with the departed relatives. There are devas and nagas of mighty powers. So we shall just share. Idam Meyyam Hotu Sukhitattā Nyātayo. Idam Meyyam Hotu Sukhitattā Nyātayo. Idam Meyyam Hotu Sukhitattā Nyātayo.
May the blessings of the Triple Gem always be with you. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us today. If you wish to revisit today's session by Dr. Ng, you can view the video on our Facebook page at Ti-Sarana SG. Look out for the topic of the second session by Dr. Ng on our Facebook page next week. Tomorrow, Sunday, Bhante Chanda Vimala will be giving a Dharma talk at 12:30 on Zoom and Facebook. See the details on our Facebook page. We welcome all to join the talk. Stay safe and well. See you again.